Okay, y'all, so here's the color. I gotta do it quick because it'll burn real quick. I'm gonna slowly add my cream. Hey y'all, so today I'm gonna show y'all how I make my caramel cream cheese icing. I'm really gonna be focusing on the caramel part of it. I make my own caramel and I love this recipe. It's very simple. It's only 3 ingredients. You do need, it can be a little bit tricky, but after you make it like 1 or 2 times, you'll figure it out. It's really not that hard, but it's so good. And I use it for so many things, depending on how long you cook it, how thick it is. You can use it for all sorts of things. If I cook it to like the consistency of like a caramel syrup, like the consistency of like ice cream topping, then I use that for ice cream topping. Cook it thicker and use it as fillings in cakes or in cream cheese icing. And that same thick stage that I use for the icing, also put it in the refrigerator and then scoop it out in little balls, roll it, sometimes put pecans in it, and then dip it in chocolate for homemade turtles. It's not a sticky, stretchy, there's Breeze. It's not a sticky, stretchy caramel like you buy the little caramel candies. It's got a very delicate texture. If you ever had candy truffles, it's got that sort of real smooth, light texture to it. But anyways, to start, like I said, I'm making a double recipe. The recipe I posted is just single one. I'm doing 2 cups of water to a 1/2 cup of sugar. Now, I start it on a little above medium heat, okay? At this stage, you don't really have to worry about it. We're just waiting on the sugar to dissolve. When it starts simmering and starts to get thick and starts to get just a slight yellow tint to it, then I'm going to turn it down to medium-low. So this part of it, it does take a little while, unless you're used to cooking it, because if I wasn't making a video for this, I'd be cooking it a lot faster. But I've made it a lot. It's kind of like my roux. I've made it a lot. I know how high heat I can cook it on. I know how quick I can do it before it burns and all that stuff, okay? But you starting out, I would cook it on medium-high heat and just stir it every once in a while, get your sugar to dissolve, and we're gonna wait till it comes up to a real high simmer. All right, so this has been a complete fiasco here today, but I'm gonna make this caramel one way or the other, okay? All right, so it's starting to get a little bit of a yellow tint to it, okay? It has thickened just a little bit, but it's got that yellow tint that I'm looking for, so I'm going to turn it down to medium-low because it's going to start going really quick now. Once it gets that yellow tint to it, it will go super quick. It will burn on you. Okay, believe me, I've done it, and it smells terrible, that burnt sugar. So I'm just going to stand right here with it, stir it a little bit, and wait till it turns golden, you know, caramel color. I'm going to add 2 cups of heavy cream, and I heated the cream up in the microwave. You don't want to heat it till it boils, but heat it up so that it's hot, you know, it's warm, because it's easier to mix into that caramelized sugar if the cream is warm. If it's cold, it'll work, it'll be fine, but you're going to have to fight with it. So, heat your cream up, and I'm just going to sit here and stir this and wait for it to caramelize. Okay, y'all, so here's the color. I gotta do it quick because it'll burn real quick. I'm gonna slowly add my cream. Whisk it. While you do it, it's gonna bubble up. It's okay. You can whisk it hard right at first, but then you need to just stir it, okay? You don't want to whisk it too hard for too long because you'll break that cream. Your caramel will break. So now I'm just gonna pour the rest of it in there. There'll be a little bit stuck on the sides that you'll be able to feel. Maybe you can see a little better. There'll be a little bit you can feel stuck on the sides. Just kind of push those off. Like I said, you don't want to whisk it too hard, except right when you first add the first little bit of cream, because your caramel will end up breaking. You're going to break the cream, and then your caramel is going to break. You'll see like grease on top of the caramel. It just separates. So I've got this on medium-low. I'm just going to gently get the pieces of caramelized sugar that are stuck to the sides of the pots off. All of it's off the bottom. And we're going to let this come to a simmer. We're going to let it reduce again to the thickness that we need. Alright, so I was just going to show you this stage, what it looks like.
What are you doing?
You can see. This is what it looks like now. It looks really thin right now because it's hot. But if once it's cool, this would be the consistency of like what you would a sauce for a bread pudding. If you wanted a caramel sauce on a bread pudding, like that type of consistency, this is what it would look like. So it looks thin, but once it cools off, see my finger? Can you see where I ran my finger? It's staying. Okay. So that would be the consistency for like a bread pudding sauce or something like that if you wanted a caramel sauce on your bread pudding. But okay, so it's at the stage now where you would like a topping for ice cream. So I'm going to take some of it out and put it in here just so I can put it on ice cream and show y'all. And plus I want to drizzle the cake with some of it. But see, it's that consistency. So now I'm just going to cook it a little bit longer till it gets a thicker consistency. Okay, so now we're going to make our icing. And it's just basically my regular cream cheese icing recipe that I've done videos on before. I've posted the recipe. I'm going to beat a stick of unsalted butter that's been softened, set down at room temperature. I'm just going to beat it for a minute to let it get fluffy. Alright, so I just beat the butter till it got a little fluffy. Now I've already put it in 2 packs of softened cream cheese. So that's 16 ounces of cream cheese. And I'm just going to mix this together well. I'm not going to beat it too much, but I am going to just mix it so it's nice and combined. Alright, now that that's combined, I'm just going to add 1 recipe of the caramel sauce that I cooked till it was real thick for this. Now I'm going to beat this together. Not really beat, just really mix it in real well. So all that, we beat all that in. The caramel's all mixed in real good. So now I'm going to add a pound of powdered sugar. You can add more powdered sugar if you like your icing super sweet. And you already are going to have some of the sweetness from that caramel. And I don't like super sweet icing, especially super sweet cream cheese icing anyways. So that's totally up to you. Of course, the more sugar you put in, the sweeter it'll be, but also the thicker it'll be. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just going to beat in this powdered sugar. Alright, so this is the consistency that I cook it to for when I add it to icing. You can't even see that. This is the consistency I cook to when I add it to icing. I have had it in the freezer because I'm going to take some of it and roll it into little balls to make candy. So see, it's the consistency. You can do stuff with it. And like I said, it's not the stretchy, sticky kind of caramel that you get in the little squares. It's a much smoother, softer, lighter texture. We're going to dip these in chocolate. Alright, so here's our caramel cream cheese icing that we made with our caramel sauce that we cooked real thick. And then I drizzled the thinner caramel sauce, like the consistency kind of syrup. I drizzled that on top of there. It's the same one as this. That's the consistency I cook it to put on ice cream. So we're going to put some of this on some ice cream. That would be so good. What I do is, like I keep it in jars like this and just heat it up. And it's like a hot caramel sundae. It's really good. Yep, that's good. And then here's our little truffles, caramel truffles. Me and Kelly made them together. So they're a little wonky, but we're still going to bite into them and see what's going on. See? Maybe I can see that. It's not stretchy and tacky and chewy. It's very smooth. It's smooth like butter. And it's just awesome. one of my top 5 favorite recipes. You just do so much with it. If you cook it to a little thinner consistency than this, the ice cream topping, you can use it as a sauce over bread pudding, stuff like that. But anyways, here's one of my favorite recipes. I hope y'all try it. It can be tricky right at first few times that you make it, but don't let it intimidate you. It is absolutely worth it. You just can't beat this caramel. But I'm gonna go wash all these dishes and check on Booger and Breeze. That I don't know what he's doing. He's running around the house like something crazy. But thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.